Welcome to Moment Talk. I'm your host, Shiso Moore, and our co-host, Mai Tao. Join us on episode 20 to talk and discuss about a broad discussion with Vong about culture, religion, and 18 Clan. But first, let's thank our sponsor and let's get right back into it. Today's sponsor is brought to you by She Sells Menswear. Are you looking for the latest trendy men's fashion? Look no further. She Sells Menswear carries handcrafted bow ties, suit accessories, and everyday streetwear. They are your one-stop Hmong-inspired men's shop. You can search them online at www.xixomenswear.com. Now let's get back to the show. Hey everyone, we are super excited. It's me and Mai and Vong on this discussion. We wanted to talk about more about clans, leaderships. Hey Vong, how's it going, man? You're down in Florida, am I correct?
Yes, sir. Going great, man. I love the weather here. Feel sorry for you guys a little bit, but I took my fair share up there, and I'm glad I'm down here, enjoying the weather.
Well, it's definitely cold today in Minnesota. Definitely cold. Took me an hour and a half to get home today from work. So
I bet, and you guys can have all that.
well, you guys can have the hurricane and all that.
You know what? When people always said my best friend lived down here for 15 years, and he's like, I've always said that. Came down here, and I haven't had that issue yet. We missed it just by a little bit this past September, but the thing about a hurricane is you could see it coming from miles away, like hundreds of miles away. So you can we can go or not go, whatever. But snow, man, there's no escape. You're there for
there's no escaping snow. That's very true. Oh man. Well, Vong, thank you so much for coming on board and just kind of having this important discussion with us. And I wanted to kind of just talk a little bit more about clans. Okay, big Hmong Yang, right? That's how we call it. That's what we call it nowadays.
Yep.
I understand that you have some sort of experience with that. Can you kind of go into a little bit of why we have these clans, like Clan Munlo, Clan Mongva, Clan Maya, so forth? What purpose do they serve, and why do they have it? Who do they serve? And the reason I want to know is because I feel like they have kind of a you can say negative reputation, where because I think a lot of people don't understand why it's there, why it was put in place.
Absolutely.
So if you can shed some light on that, that would be great.
Well, from my experience, there's 18 clans because there's 18 last names. And so if you think about our name, Hmong means being free or free men. In our case, free men and free women. And so what we have learned over centuries of time is we have lived under a certain set of rules. So there would be peace. And so there would be kind of like this set of rules no matter where we go. We follow these rules, whether if it's like death or marriage, because those are the biggest two rules that we have to follow, or they cause the biggest rifts or problems in our community. And so Goying Sen, or the clan leaders are set up in that system to kind of regulate those rules within the community of each other. And so, for example, we have daughters, we have sons. Each other, then you can kind of hold each other accountable or put together build a relationship with the families. And so if like your child or if you have issues, the leaders can come in and mentor or kind of fix everything. And so that's been set up for centuries over time. And again, referring back to being Hmong, I think Dr. Yang Dao was the one who gave us that definition, meaning like Hmong means free people. And so to me, it means we can go to any country, any environment, and still establish, our way of life, religion, freedom from the laws there. That's why people, we have all these issues because the old school, the OGs, are still stuck in the like, well, back in the days we did it. Well, this is how we did it. But what I've seen though is like the ability of why it's lasted so long is because it assimilates our culture, our religion, us. We assimilate to where we go. And so if you think about it, we don't have a country, we lost our country. We've always been the folks that have traveled through time. And no matter where we were, those laws kind of kept us together. So
Okay.
Go Yi saying is kind of like that. And so it kind of governs us, rules us, and so forth. Now we're Migana, right? We're in the United States, freedom of religion, everything. But when we come here, they teach us, they're like, you can believe in what you believe in. We give you that freedom. We give you freedom to do all this stuff, but just believe in the United States of America and the Pledge of Allegiance and all this stuff. Forget about every other country, right? Give our allegiance to us. And in a way, we're kind of like rebels where we're like, well, yeah, we'll give you the allegiance, but we will still honor our laws and our systems, kind of like a third country, third state, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which Mikana, if you see Mika history, that's what caused the Civil War, was the South wanted to do their own thing, And so that's what, and to answer your question, hopefully, is Go Yi Seng is built that way. And yeah, they do have a bad connotation of doing things the old way, because we still have a lot of the older generations in power, and we don't have the ones that are open-minded, the younger ones like us, to come in and say, hey, you know what, that's not right. That's not working right now in the modern times here. And so we have to become better. For example, I'll give you an example like the funerals. I had to bury both my parents and my daughter. So I know very well how much it costs. I know how long it takes. I know how much it costs. The average funeral, if you actually just do it the old traditional way, can go anywhere from $30,000 to $45,000, depending on how much you want to spend, right? The relationship is, if it's a lady, like so you can't just go bury her like if it was like a man. So if we had to separate the two, like if it was my brother, the relatives are just us. And so if he's buried in a suit, we're like, whatever, that's all good. But if it was my mom, like, hey, where's her pillow? Where's her, like, all this stuff that you have to abide by the rules, right? Or the traditions. And so it's not as easy as what people think. But the example about that situation is, like, we need to get faster, better, and cheaper. Ultimately as a goal for us modern Hmong. It doesn't have to be 45, 30 grand. But I would tell you, just shopping coffins and going to the lots, it's going to cost you a grip. It's going to be like 20, 25 just for that part. The rest of it, whether or go all this other stuff and feed all the people, that's up to you. If you want it to be very beautiful, or you want it just to be very simple, or you want it to be very cost effective. It really depends on the goal of the family and, the budget that they set up. Now, the budget is low, then don't do it that long. Do it with less resources. So the people who set that up are your clansmen, are your leaders. Now, the problem of it is, right? So you have like that mesh where it's like, oh man, there's this fight, and it always happens then because of that, and that's the problem. I think the problem is not old culture. The problem just is the fight with that scenario, at least in that scenario.
Okay, so if I understand it correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they were initially set in place to kind of be there to each in your share, right? And they're there to kind of right? Within big Hmong tradition.
Correct.
But with you saying that, how can we go forward with this process without, it sounds to me kind of like within your clan killer, there's a power struggle where, for example, in a funeral, when do we draw the line and say, no, this is what the family wants, and then this is what the clan wants? Where does the line draw? Or do we, at this point, we just say, you know what, bây giờ cho cái thay cho cái client của tôi handle là cái bây giờ lấy cái của tôi na.
Yep. That's a very hard question because there's a lot of factors to that question.
Because I think you're the perfect person to ask, being that you've been VP of the Lao clan for so many years. So
right.
What's your thought on that?
My best answer to it is, you know, what type of relationship do you have with your elders? And are you very close with them? Are you far from them? Because that's what I see the first thing that comes up is, what type of relationship do I have with my elders? So if I have a very good relationship with my grandfathers, my uncles, and, you know, like to each other, like, you know, like if I went to my uncle or my grandfather, like, you know, I don't have a lot of money, this is all I have, you know, can we do it very, you know, inexpensive? Because of our relationship, they're like, we get it. Let's do it this way, and let's do it this way, and let's try to cut out all these things to make it very fast and inexpensive, right? And so hai Hmong chai call like ma ho ma like blow right? Those are the biggest three things that like the leaders fear the most. Like, man, they're gonna come over here and they're gonna think we're a bunch of idiots running this funeral, right? Eagles. And so they're like, well, at least we have to do this, and we have to kill a cow for this, and we have to set up this, and we have to do this in order to zhonggo. Everything else we can forego it based on the fact that you said you only had this, and you said you only want to do it for this. Now, if I did establish a good relationship, would you kind of like how some situations are where some folks don't ever follow their family. All of a sudden something happened and they call their clansmen. They're like, I've never seen that guy before, but he's helping me, right? Yeah, you kind of even though you're blood, like you never help them or you're not close to them, they're going to be like, I don't know you, but that person deserves the best, and they deserve, you know, as much as we can do it. We don't want to lose our pride at this point, so we're just going to do it like this, right? And they don't think budget. They're thinking, this is how it's done because of that. And so to answer your question, I think the first thing that comes up is, what type of relationship do you have with, you know, your family? And so if you're very close to the elders or have that rapport, I think that communication goes a long way. And I think the further you can kind of express yourself in that way helps out, because I think a lot of people don't know how much it's going to cost is the first issue. They don't know what to do. They don't know what kind of